Alright, welcome to the video. So this is the third one. I'm going to be going over another decode today, as well as touching on a couple of things that I covered in the previous video. And it's going to be a bit of a longer one, but just bear with me. It's going to be a fun one. Okay, and so we'll just start with a quick and simple gospel. So John 3, verse 16, For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And that's all you have to do. All you have to do is believe, and you're saved, and there's nothing you can do to be unsaved. And it doesn't matter how often you go to church or how good of a person that you think you are. Uh, all you have to do is believe, and you will be saved. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to cover is I made a little post about this, adding a few additional details to my analysis of this scene. But yeah, in the scene, so what this is showing here is I covered this in the previous videos, but I'll kind of recount it. This is the eclipse that occurred on October 2nd, 2024, on Rosh Hashanah, and this apple here is representative of Mercury, but also, I believe, Israel. So as she drops the apple, it travels across the floor, passing over, and I took the time just to count these tiles to make sure. You can watch the video yourself. It's called iPad Goat 2. You can slow it down, count the tiles yourself, but essentially it passes over half of a tile right there, and another 20 tiles, or 21 tiles, and then lastly a half tile at the end as it touches O Man's shoe and splits open. So there's a few people that have theorized like what exactly the symbolism here is with the tiles, and I believe the symbolism with the tiles matches up with the time that passes in order for the apple to travel across the floor and split open. So it takes about 5 seconds. I measured this a few times, but pretty much exactly 5 seconds for the apple to travel from being dropped across to splitting open. So I believe the seconds passing in the video represent months, and the tiles represent weeks, which will essentially come to the same thing. 5 months will take it obviously from October 2nd to March 2nd, and the tiles will take it, I think I have a calculation here. If we assume that there's 21 tiles and the two half tiles will add together to make 22 in total, that will take us to March 5th. So yeah, I do believe I'm going to make a bold prediction here and say that in the first week of March is when we're going to see that separating of the land, or the dividing of Israel, into what's most likely going to be a two-state solution. So some people have theorized that the tiles, in fact, are months, but I don't believe that's the case because with how quickly things are moving right now, I couldn't possibly imagine that it would take another 22 months since the two-state solution talks are in the works right now, as well as what I believe are the peace and safety announcements coming with Ukraine. If you're not familiar with that verse, it's 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. I'll just go to that right now myself, actually, and I'll pull it up. Oh, missed that. Okay, so it is, For when they shall say, Peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So the pertinent questions with this verse is, who are they? And the they in this case, I believe, is generally just most likely America, but as well it could possibly be Western society as a whole. So I think very soon we're going to have that peace and safety announcements, which will then trigger the sudden destruction. As well, there was a very interesting earthquake which occurred. It was a 5.3 magnitude, which occurred just near Thessaloniki, or where the church of the Thessalonians was located. And it happened at 5:03 local time, and this happened on election night in America. It's So I think this was a very big indicator or nod from God to us that Trump would be the one to bring the peace and safety announcement that'll then bring the sudden destruction. So that's just my opinion, And I think what we're going to have here is the most of this will come to pass within the next month. And I think the first thing we could possibly see is that division of Israel, and as well as the fleur de lis, the flowering of the lily, which is representative of the Antichrist. So, as I covered at the end of the last video, I do believe we could see that prior to our departure, and I think we will see it. I don't think a lot of people will recognize it for what it is. Obviously, I'll make some videos in a couple weeks if this does come to pass. Today is February 18th, so that's a little under 2 weeks, I think, until we could have this development. So I'll make a follow-up video on that then. But on to the topic of this video. So I'm going to be decoding the Simpsons episode. Raw Repent did a great video on this, but I'm going to add in a few additional details I saw myself just from watching the episode. So the episode itself is season 16, episode 19, which they actually do a little nod to in Leave the World Behind. The radio in the car has, I believe, that channel on there, as well as the episode itself is the 354th episode of The Simpsons. I'll pull this up here, actually. Let's go. Let's see if they have like a little Simpsons Wikipedia here. 354. Yep, there it is. Episode number 354, which I believe is the number of days it takes for a lunar cycle. Let's have a look there. 354 lunar cycle. Yeah, a full lunar year is approximately. Oh, where did we go here? A full lunar year. Where was that? it changed, but it said it was approximately 354 days. A traditional lunar year of 12 synodic months is about 354 days. So I think that is the kind of nod within the episode number. And there is quite a bit of astro symbolism within the episode. There's a lot of symbolism in general, but we'll cover that. So I did make a note to go along with this. So this episode, I believe, shows a great deal of the events leading up to our departure, but it is in a reverse chronological order for the most part. There's one difference here. So if you'll notice, the first one is National Balloon Day. I'll pull up pictures for this as we go on. I'll go along. The Wolf Moon, which was a full moon in January, which occurred on the 13th of January. The Super Bowl, which they show within the episode on February 9th. The Blood Moon, which they show in the episode, which will occur on March 14th. And then the actual Rapture, which you'll see if you watch the episode. Well, you can't watch it in reverse order, but you'll notice the events will occur in reverse chronological order, with these events at the back of the episode and these at the beginning. As well, there's a lot of other symbolism within it, which I'll cover as we go along. So I'll pull up the first clip here. So there's one assumption you would have to make watching this episode to assume everything is in reverse chronological order perfectly. You would have to assume that the National Balloon Day here, you're looking at the Julian calendar date, which is 13 days behind the Gregorian calendar, which is our regular calendar. So that's about the only assumption you would have to make, and then everything else is in pretty well perfect reverse chronological order. Okay, so I'll go to the first clip here, and I'll just kind of do a bit of commentary as we go along, and we'll see how it goes. I'll play the clip first. Is there any sound? Sorry, I might have to make a quick fix here in the sound department. Let's do that. You're gonna be left. Let's start that over. 99 minutes to go. Unless it turns out that you're knocked about, then you're gonna be left down below. 98 minutes until we're all saved. So what they're doing in this scene is they're going to where they think the Homer's predicted the rapture, so they're going to that in some sort of party. Okay, guys, get ready. We're just. So I'll cover a couple things here. You'll see the kind of 99 symbolism throughout the episode. Notice they were singing 99 miles to go or something along the lines of that. And if we go to gematria here. You'll see this very commonly in a lot of symbolism, but Rapture in ordinal gematria, if I could spell, equals 99. So you'll see this 99 symbolism in a great deal of things, and you'll see it at least once more within this episode in the symbolism that I'll cover.
Hey!
You saved us, Homer. I can't wait.
I'm gonna steal God's secrets and sell them to Satan.
6, 5, 4. So proud of you, Homer.
2, 1.
Goodbye, stupid Earth!
Okay, so within this, there's a bit of symbolism here, but we'll go back. And the first thing which I noticed is if you look at the balloons, they're showing that same kind of third quarter lit on one side moon phase, which I've showed in a great deal of other symbolism throughout my videos. But when have you ever seen balloons that look like this? Obviously, this is what they're trying to show you here is the third quarter moon phase, or at the very least lit on one side. And yeah, that's pretty much what they're showing you here.
We're just seconds away.
And another thing which I believe Rob Repent showed on his channel is Homer waits for 3:15 and nothing happens. This could be a nod to March 15th, even though it's, I'm pretty sure, in the middle of the full moon cycle that nothing's going to happen. They're also out in the desert on this mountain, which is I believe symbolic of Moses on Mount Sinai, which I believe there was a verse where they reference the 3rd month and the 15th day of that month.
Seconds away.
So that's also what they could be showing you here, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, that's what I got from that scene. So I'll move on to the next one. So we're going to assume this is the first event in chronological order, which it pretty well is. I'll show you here. We'll go to National Balloon Day, which is National Balloon Ascension Day. Correction, my bad. Celebrated on January 9th. So this is our first event in the reverse chronological order of events within this episode. I could just take this down, actually. We'll go to the next part. So this will be showing now the... where's the wolf moon here? This will be showing the wolf moon. Which I'll pull up again here. I'll try and cite everything. The wolf moon is the name given to the full moon that occurs within January. So this is the next thing that they show you here.
My Rapture. I went to Lisa's school play, which had serious pacing problems.
So I'm not sure if you heard it there, but they did a little wolf howl as they were showing the full moon. So that's showing you the January wolf moon.
3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm wrong again! I'm nothing but a big fat... I was right! And there's the Earth, so beautiful with your many rings.
It's a pretty funny episode. But there's a few things you could discern from this as well. So he does a kind of countdown, like 3, 2, 1, and then nothing happens. This again could be a nod to nothing happening on a specific date, and the 3, 2, 1 in this case would be March 21st. I'll just write that down, a kind of note here. So you could be looking at that as the 3, 2, 1. And we have our third quarter moon, which I'm looking at on the 22nd. That's my prediction that this is the last date in which we could depart after that, but I believe that's another nod. 3, 2, 1, and then nothing happens, and then like a second later he gets raptured. So that could be a nod to look at 3, 2, 1 as the date, but that's just what I take away from that. Everyone has their own interpretations.
Oh, I'm wrong again!
But yeah, that's a very interesting scene, that one. So I'll move on to the next one. So that is the second one in chronological order. That is happened on January 13th. And we'll move on to the next one, which is the Super Bowl here, which they show you
From
previously.
Springfield Stadium, it's Krusty the Clown Celebrity Salute to Specials. The crowd is about to agog as the celebrity blimp approaches. And look, here is America's favorite waste of taxpayer dollars, the Blue Angel.
What the?
So pretty much what they're just showing you with this scene is just the Super Bowl. Like that's all they're showing you. And again, that fits in with our chronological order of the next event. So that happened on the 9th of February. So now we'll get into the really interesting scenes. This next one here is where they show you what I believe. Raw Repent showed this in his video, but I don't think he picked up on the clue that what they're showing you here is the blood moon. So they're showing you quite a bit in this scene. I'll play it first, and then we'll talk about it.
Blood is raining from the sky.
Hang on there, big fella. We'll save ya. This ain't personal. I just love to scrimshaw.
Judgment Day is at hand.
Okay, so there's a few interesting things in here, but the kind of blood raining from the sky is what they're trying to tell you here is the blood moon, which occurs on the 14th of March, as well as what they're kind of symbolizing as the moon here is this whale. And if you're not familiar, there's quite a few verses about this. So there was a prophet Jonah that in the Old Testament he was swallowed by a whale, where he spent 3 days and 3 nights within the belly of the whale. And then Jesus later, in one of his speeches, refers to what is later him being buried for 3 days and 3 nights as the sign of Jonah. I'll pull that verse up here, actually. I'm trying to remember it. Mark 8:12. Let's go Matthew 12:38. Thanks for your patience, guys. I should probably have had these pulled up already. Yeah, this is it here. Okay, but he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah. For Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So that's what's being referred to here with the whale, the sign of Jonah. And what they're referring to here, as you'll see later in the scene, is I think this is referring to the 3 days of darkness, which is being predicted, which I believe will be 3 days of, at the very least, no communications and potentially just no power in it all. And that will be the kind of symbolic or mockery they're going to have of Christ being buried. So
Hang on there, big fella.
I'll just play this scene a little bit longer. I'll show you. Let's go right. Okay, so Homer says, Judgment Day is at hand. So this is another nod to that once the blood moon occurs, we're very, very close, which, as I predicted in the other videos, being the third quarter moon of our departure, that's only 8 days later, so that would be quite nigh. So I'll just play this here. And then within the episode, there's a whole 3 seconds of black screen. So that's another kind of nod to the 3 days of darkness, which most people wouldn't necessarily pick up there. Okay. And the next thing we're going to show is just at the very start of the episode. They show in this kind of movie that Homer and the kids are watching, the actual Rapture. So if we follow our reverse chronological order of the events, having this at the very beginning,
Times everyone's doing.
after the blood moon would be the Rapture. So I'll just play this clip here.
Where did my Christian limo driver go?
My pious husband is missing. The baby I chose to have baptized is gone. Mr. Thompson, what's happening?
It's the rapture, Shauna. The rapture. The virtuous have gone to heaven, and the rest of us have been left below.
Left below? Where have I heard that before?
It's the title of the movie.
It's everywhere.
We were fools, and because we rejected God, tacitly accepting Satan, we must suffer through the apocalypse.
I thought all religions were a path to God. I was wrong.
Why can I put my faith in science and technology?
Oh, what
So that's just funny.
did I choose to be gay?
Okay, so that's that, and they show the actual rapture at the start of the episode. And now I'm just going to touch on a few very specific things which I noticed myself just throughout the episode. There was one thing which I was going to show here, which I didn't. There is, in one scene in the episode, there's a kind of heart on the fridge, which could be a nod to Valentine's Day, which it didn't really appear in the right chronological order I was looking for within the episode, so I didn't count that. But again, that could just be a nod to the month that most of these events are occurring, or the month that's preceding a lot of these events. So I'll move on to another clip here. Let's see here. We'll go to this one. Let's play this.
This is Kent Brockman reporting live from downtown Springfield, where overweight doomsayer Homer Simpson is predicting the world will end next Wednesday.
So in a lot of symbolism, Wednesday is very reoccurring. There's actually a movie which I'll pull up here. It's called Big Wednesday. It's a movie from the 70s, and it has a very, very interesting kind of tag on the front of the movie. So I'll read it here. It's with Gary Busey and a few other people. But it says, "A day will come that is like no other, and nothing that happens after will ever be the same." So the eclipse that occurred in October 2025, the eclipse that started our countdown in iPad Goat here, that occurred on Wednesday. Now, let's go October 2nd. Yeah, October 2nd, 2025 was a Wednesday. So it's reasonable to believe that what they're citing as Big Wednesday is October 2nd, when the eclipse was. And if you hold on, I just have to let my dog in. One sec, guys. Come here, lay down. Lay down. Shadow, sit. Down. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Shadow, down. Good boy. Okay, so that is what they could be referring to as the Big Wednesday, which would be the eclipse. However, as I pointed out at the start of the video, in iPad Goat 2, when the apple stops rolling again, it does that on a half tile as well. So there is reason to believe that the next event could in fact be that Big Wednesday that they're in reference to, which, as the movie shows, there's like a giant tidal wave in the movie. That's the plot of the whole movie, is this enormous tidal wave. So that could be that kind of mega tsunami event that many people are predicting. So that could be that as well. But yeah, I'll just move on to the next thing here. So I'll cover another thing, which I did cover in a previous video, but I'll show it again just for anyone who's only seeing this one and hasn't seen any of the other videos.
Hey, kids! I scream, you scream, we all scream for...
So what I believed was being shown here, and I referenced a few other things, but the kind of line the spoon makes here, I believe, is a certain passage of the moon in Stellarium. So I'll go to that now. Get the moon, and we'll go to where I believe our departure is, which is on the 22nd of March, at the very least, possibly after that. So let's go back here. And this is the passage the moon makes as it's entering Sagittarius. So I believe that is what is in reference to of the Marge running the spoon along the right side of the triangle. I had a lot more reasoning for this in the other videos, but that's just my take on that. Okay, let's see what I have next here. So next, let's see. And they do reference quite a few moon phases throughout. I'll show one here now. I'm just going to kind of cover everything I haven't covered. No, I'll show something else first here. So Homer's kind of mad here, and he's trashing heaven. And they kind of dwell on this scene for a little bit here. And I think what's being shown here is possibly if we go over here and we assume this is the first full moon after the October 2nd eclipse, then you would have November, December, and this tree would kind of signify the new year. And then you have the last 3 moons before the Rapture. So you would have the wolf moon, the snow moon, and then the blue blood moon. So that's possibly what they're showing you here, is you have the last 3 moons before the new year and then the last 3 new moons after the new year. So that's just possibly what's being shown there. And let's see what else I have. The moons. Again, in another scene here, this could very well just be a moon phase that they're showing you here. It could mean something in conjunction with this, where you have the full moon moving to the 3rd quarter moon.
I'm sorry, but heaven without my family.
So that's possibly another astro symbolism that they could be showing you within the episode. There is one scene here where they're showing you Homer's in heaven talking to God, and they have the time zones in the back. And this I'm going to kind of theorize on. I might make a video on it later, but what you have here is this time they show quite often in their symbolism, which is 5 to midnight, so it'd be 12:55. But I think what this is symbolizing here is not a time, but a date. So I believe this could be pointing to a date which would look like 12:10. And then in other scenes with the symbolism, they have. I'll go ahead and I'll pull this up here. Let's go to that Taylor Swift video, which is Karma here. And then you have the coffee clock at the end. It's not quite 12:55, but it's kind of similar here, and then it just goes right to midnight. So it looks like it jumps more than at least a second. Like it could be a few seconds. So that could be symbolizing a date as opposed to a time. But if we look at that 12:55 and we instead look at that as 12:10, so 10th day of the 12th month, let's go to one of my kind of calendars here. So another credit to Robert Pent for this calendar, but if we're looking at 12:10, if we just assume that's 12:10 instead, then we're looking at this date here, which is March 10th to 11th on the Gregorian, which is the standard calendar, and then you have the rest of these here. So this could be what it's pointing to, or those could be like a 12:56 could be pointing to 12:11, which is also 11:11, which a lot of people have had dreams and just frequent encounters with that number, so it is of some significance, as well as the 1028 shows up quite often as well. But that's just my theory. I'm open to being debated on that, and if it just comes to me at one point, then maybe I'll make another follow-up video on that. So I'll see what else I have left to cover here, and it looks there is one more scene. Okay, this one as well. This is another one where they believe they show you the moon phase here. So this is Homer throwing away his books here. He was disappointed he didn't get raptured, but they do this in kind of like a funny angle here, or funny. But I believe what's being shown here again, because of this angle, is another moon phase. So you're looking at a lit on the left side there, 3/3 quarter moon. So that's possibly what they could be showing you there as well.
10, 11, 12, 13, 12 apostles. But Jesus was at the Last Supper too. This changes everything.
So you could get something there from the 12 to 13, something along the lines of that. This is another very interesting scene. This is the last one I'm going to cover here, and then that'll be pretty well it for the video. I'll play it first, and then we'll go over it.
To the kiddie pool, all right, Mr. Smarty Head Exploder? So if you need further assistance, just call the front desk and ask for Andre, okay?
Oh, sorry, I tipped you, but I don't have any cash.
You know you could wish for some.
I could. Wait, before you go, there's one thing I gotta know. What happened to my family?
Heaven has a wide array of fine dining just steps from your room. Have a light bite at the Pope of Sandwich Village.
Okay, let's see. Earth is channel 23, I think.
Why didn't we listen to Dad? The worst part is I'll never see my homie again.
That's the worst part. Then I'm not doing my job.
Okay, so there's actually a lot to unpack in this scene, so I'm glad I remembered to watch this one. So if you'll notice at the start of the scene, I just noticed that painting there. There might be a little symbolism involved in that, but you have this kind of like two moon like lamps here, so they're kind of unusual. So whenever you see something unusual in some media, there's generally something behind that. So what could be shown here is the blue moon, two moons within one calendar month. So that's possibly what they could be showing you here. And then let's go forward here. And then this, they go to Earth, which is channel 23.
Just steps from your room.
So Earth is channel 23, and I have seen that before in some more symbolism. I can't recall exactly where now, but if we go to the calendar and then we go down to March, so 22nd, 23rd on that Sunday. So if the 22nd on that third quarter moon is our departure, then it would kind of be a dark but interesting nod that Earth is channel 23. So after the church is raptured, 23 is they're watching channel Earth there. So that could be a nod to that. As well as they have, I forget what the baby's name is. Maggie? I don't know. But she's, so it's like, why do they have this like teddy bear here? Why is that teddy bear terrorizing her? So you'll see the symbolism in a few other things, and especially American gods, they have the teddy bear that they throw in here and there. So you think like, what could this teddy bear possibly mean? So we'll pull up National Teddy Bear Day, which is September 9th, and that is 9/9, 9th month, 9th day. So, as I showed you earlier in the video, in Gematria, Rapture is 99. So, whenever they show you a teddy bear and these things, that's what they're referencing. The Rapture, that's essentially what they're referencing with the teddy bear, which is interesting. So, that's the second kind of 99 reference in this episode.
Why didn't we listen to Dad?
But yeah, that's pretty well everything I wanted to cover. There is one thing I'll also add on, because it kind of goes over top of my previous theory of 22nd being the departure, which is a Saturday. So I think someone commented this on another video I saw earlier, and it was the lyrics to a song called "Waiting for Love" by Avicii. Now it's pretty. You would think I'm reading into this quite a bit, but there could be something there, as I like to believe there's nods in pretty well everything. Like they're trying to show you this in everything, just most people don't notice. So I'll read the lyrics to this song here, "Waiting for Love" by Avicii. So it goes Thursday, waiting for love, waiting for love. Thank the stars, it's Friday. I'm burning like a fire gone wild on Saturday. Guess I won't be coming to church on Sunday. So when you really think about it, it's kind of like peculiar lyrics. So like, won't guess I won't be coming to church on Sunday. It's it goes along with my date I'm looking at, which would be departure on the 22nd, and guess I'm not coming to church on Sunday. It's very peculiar lyrics, as I don't think he's quite Christian in his music, so it's very strange. But yeah, that's the last thing I want to cover, and yeah, that's pretty well it. Uh, look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. God bless. See you on the next one. Thank you.